Hello, welcome to another live stream here, the Facebook Pros. So good to see you. Glad that you could join us. Hey, feel free to just come on in to the chat here on Zoom. I posted the link there in the description, so you can just click on it, come in, join us. We've been having a good time these past few weeks, but I had lots of participation and some new people now and then, so that's always cool to see that. So yeah, come on in. As a matter of fact, Robert, have we seen you on this call before?
No.
Dude, I'm totally singling you out.
I'm nervous, man, around all these professionals, but I want to come be a part of this if it's all right.
Come on, man. It takes one to know one, right?
I don't know.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So yeah, hey, what's going on out there? Who's got something fun, exciting, challenging that you're working on? I want to talk about a little bit. I see Billy Britt out there joining us. I'm sure he's got something really exciting going on.
Robert, where are you from?
North Carolina.
In the Asheville area? You near
Raleigh.
Billy? Oh, you're in Raleigh. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Asheville's like about 3 hours away.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see the heavy coats on, so it's gonna be pretty cold now.
It's a little chilly, you know, when it gets below 70. You know what I mean in Florida.
I got my jacket on tonight.
And my wife keeps it a little chilly in the house.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was
Welcome.
it was about 70 degrees today, so yeah. T-shirts and today.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a balmy 37 in West Virginia. So
I don't know why
Oh.
people go to the snow and play in that. Like I don't understand that. It's like, oh hell no. I'll stay here. I'm stay here and this I don't do snow.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I've had my share. I've paid my dues.
I escaped the snow when I was just a boy.
Yeah. Keith took a trip out to Montana this week. Oh my God, it was 3 degrees in Billings and Bozeman. It was
Beautiful
crazy.
place, though.
It is if you're not freeze to death. Yeah. It is. True.
How long was he there for?
3 days.
That's long enough.
Yeah, long enough. I think he's thawed out now.
Nice.
Those are the people that wear shorts and t-shirts in 30-degree weather.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Flip-flops.
We have that down here. When you get all the people from Minnesota to go to the beach, you know, we're all in sweaters and hoodies and whatever, and they're out there in their shorts and bathing suits, just loving the beach. You know, 65 is a heat wave to them.
Mm-hmm. So how's business out there? Is everybody staying busy?
I was
Yeah.
slowing down and then all of a sudden, boom. Got busy again.
The old head fake, huh?
I was waiting for a little slow time so I could take some time off. Nope. So
It's really busy now down here. This is full season. Everybody's back. Kids are back in school, and all the snowbirds are down here before Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then they'll head home for a couple of weeks, and then it'll be busy again.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really busy.
everybody wants their stuff done before Thanksgiving. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Every holiday, you get the big rush.
Mhm.
And they'll wait till the week before, you know. Oh, I got company coming.
yeah.
Hey, Adrian, is your last name Lambda?
Landa. No, what is it? Does it show Landa?
It does. Isn't that like a Greek letter, like the fraternity or something?
I can't see it. I can't even see my myself in my little window there. I don't know what it says.
Yeah, it says Lambda.
Really?
I think that's it's a Greek letter, right? Lambda?
Landa? No,
Lambda
Landa.
with an M?
It's Landa. Landa. I don't know why the M is there. I don't know.
I'm
Lambda.
busting your cojones.
What wasn't Lambda the name of the sorority from that movie Revenge of the Nerds?
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
right?
Yeah, it's like a
Wow.
Greek thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to hide from the feds. That's why I had to change my name.
A good disguise you got going there, Adrian.
Lambda, baby.
That's almost
Yeah.
as good as like Superman's disguise. A pair of glasses and a tie.
So how's supply chain issues? Everybody, no problem with their glass anymore or hardware? All caught up?
Terrible.
Zero.
Horrible.
Terrible.
Zero.
Terrible? On what? Glass and hardware or just hardware?
Yeah, Basco supplies my framed and semi-frameless doors that we do for these production home builders.
Yeah.
And yesterday we had 15 doors come in, and I pay a guy to unbox them and inspect them because the quality's been so bad. And ironically, our new Basco rep, who happened to know Chris Phillips, came in the shop kind of unannounced. It was his first visit. We had 6 doors stacked up with scratches in the glass and the metal. And that was his first, a visit to our shop. We opened 2 more while he was there. Both of them were damaged. And I said, this is every week I'm paying somebody to inspect. I'm paying somebody to get on a phone and call and make arrangements to get replacement, glass in here. I don't get to recover a dime of that. So that part has been horrible. Not sure what you guys are experiencing. I know some of you don't fool with those, but the quality's been terrible on the framed and the semi-frameless stuff.
Basco just changed hands, didn't they? Somebody acquired them?
No,
I'm not sure, Bill. I don't know.
no, they've acquired a couple other places. They
Oh,
have
you're right.
Addis Glass. They have Winston shower door in Winston, North Carolina, and then they just picked up another fabricator. I think.
Yeah,
in
they did.
Michigan.
You're right. They got the one in Michigan, Glass Source. Yep.
Where are you at, Michael?
West Virginia,
Okay.
North Central West Virginia.
Are you getting your glass from Ohio or North Carolina?
It's coming out of Cincinnati.
Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it is terrible. And it's, it makes you rethink. Well, my challenge, not to get into my own deal here, but where we're located, I can't get anybody else to deliver. Basco's the only game in town. I've tried numerous. When I was at the glass show last year, I begged guys to come over and deliver, but they only want to LTL it. And my experience with that has been it comes in mangled from, forklifts and everything else. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place on my framed and semi-frameless stuff.
You ought to have Basco LTL it. Maybe they'll straighten them out.
It's in the packaging, Bill. It's not in the handling process from when it leaves their facility until it gets to mine. This is inside. So when you open it up, like there's insufficient protection against the glass and say the aluminum. There's loose components that are scratching. You can see how it slides and scratches the glass or the metal. And I'm not talking that it's some stuff that like a magic eraser can maybe get out of there and you can hide. This is gouges. This is white scratched lines in the glass. And it's just, it's business is great, but that dealing with that has compounded the complexity of trying to meet deadlines, customer impressions of you. It's been a challenging time.
I had
Sounds
an
like
issue with a supplier's insulated glass supplier years ago, and I kept talking to him and I kept telling him, this isn't acceptable. This isn't going to work. And finally, I told them, if this continues, I'm going to charge back, and because obviously they needed to be hit where it hurt, and that still didn't fix the problem. So I gave him a warning. I gave him fair warning and said, look, I'm going to have to change suppliers if you don't, get it right. And they couldn't get it right. And I changed suppliers and it hurt them. They begged me to come back. I'm like, sorry, not until you straighten it up. So, and I understand in your case being where you are, that may not be an option, but at least maybe the chargeback option is there.
So Mike, let me ask you this. Are you getting your doors already pre-built on your frame doors?
Yes.
Have you considered getting KD units where you get the glass and just order the metals separately and build them in the shop?
I did a little bit of that years ago, Bill. I veered away from it because we did have a good supplier for, a number of years. This is something that is really gotten worse instead of better, post COVID. Not that COVID's over, but it is for the most part. It's gotten worse because what they're telling me is that they all laid off people. They all got, they downsized their operation. Then people didn't come back, so they're training new people, and they can't get it together. Your point's well taken. My shop, I'm in the process. I'm going to move my shop, but we just don't have the room, to do that. And I just can't. I just like the one-stop shop thing. I like to get my door in, put it on the truck, and go. But when I'm spending every Wednesday when they deliver, Tuesday actually when they deliver, I probably got a guy at the table, because sometimes you get about 15 doors, sometimes we get 30 doors in. You're talking a guy standing there all day long checking in doors.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how many frameless doors do you have on backlog?
My frameless is pretty good for the most part, Keith. When you say backlog, some of the experiences or some of the delays we're experiencing with like brushed bronze and now some matte black product. But I really can't complain about backlog on my United Plate Glass that supplies my glass. They've been on top of it pretty good, and the quality's been acceptable. Let's put it that way. Every now and then you get one that's not good.
Let me rephrase. Are you guys selling more frameless than what you're able to install? Is there a backlog like internally?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's not bad, but yes, we're overwhelmed right now. These builders are end of year trying to make their quota.
I see where you're going with this, Keith.
Why don't you just stop fucking selling the frame doors? It sounds like a blessing in disguise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Yeah, don't fight it. Just go with it.
Yeah. No, point taken. My pencil and calculator have been out doing the math here, to be honest with you.
I'm glad you are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We make significantly more money on a frameless door.
We've been hearing a similar story with also national build.com. It's Ferguson does it. I don't know if it's always through Ferguson, but online it's build.com. And I've had a couple of customers who have said, oh, for whatever reason, I want to go buy this online thing, and they've gone to build.com. I've actually had 2 Ferguson employees send people back to me because they're like, oh, I want to go cheaper and I want to get this thing online. And then they went and talked to Ferguson reps, and I know our local, Ferguson reps and everything. And they told the customer, the first one, I'm like, oh, that's a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. But the first time I heard it, customer said, oh yeah, I talked to Ferguson about buying online through build.com, and they said, oh, don't do it. Everything's arriving broken, everything's scratched. It's just horrible. It'll be a terrible situation. You should go to a local glass shop like DT Glass. And I'm like, no, Ferguson is not supposed to say that. They're going to get in trouble. And then I'm fine with it, of course. But then I heard it a second time, like about a month later. So unfortunately, I think, build.com is going through the same thing that Fastco is going through, probably the same thing with Dreamline and all that other crap that I refuse to install anyway. And so they all turn around and come back to frameless. Woohoo.
Yes. That at some point I still install like tub enclosures, like sliding bypass, like 1/4-inch tub enclosures. That's the only 1/4-inch glass that I do. And that's just because I've got a minimum of $1,000. All right. So if someone will pay me $1,000 to do a tub enclosure, I will. And people do. And that's the only reason that I do those, because I can get in and out in like an hour. And it's good money. I mean, it's comparable to a frameless enclosure.
Use WBS.
I do. Yeah, I use
Yeah.
WBS. I like them. They're good quality.
They're great. You know.
Yeah. But I don't do any of the other ones. I don't do any hinging, any other 1/4-inch doors at all. And I know other people. I think Brandon DeCastro was saying like they don't do any at all, not even tub enclosures. Of course,
Well, we'll do semi-frameless, but it won't be like some online, set thing. It'll be more like the semi-custom. It'll be Agalite is here on the West Coast, or Cardinal, or someone like that, not the, off the internet sort of thing. So there is another level. And every time we thought about not doing semi-frameless, there are still houses where there will be an awesome master bath, but then they have some, guest bath or kids bath or whatever that they want to save some money. So we'll still do it when we have to. But what we don't do is the people who say, oh, I'm going to buy this online, or I'm going to go to Costco. Will you install it? Not a chance. Yeah.
You don't need the headaches.
You know what gets me, Shannon, is you're telling me that there's people that are buying their plumbing stuff at Ferguson's and then are going online to save money. Just doesn't make sense. Ferguson
Yeah.
customers are all high end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Ferguson runs the build.com. Have you
Right.
bought
Yeah.
from there? And that's actually pretty cheap. Yeah. So there's a big difference between, I guess, going in the store and seeing all this high-end stuff. I think Ferguson is trying to play both sides. So
Yeah.
in store, they're doing the premium stuff, but then online, which is probably why they have that different name, build.com.
And the volume.
I think they want both parts of the business. My assumption.
Yeah. And it's easier to spell than Ferguson. So you just type in build, much easier.
Which vowel? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, Costco came out with a run of doors, about a year ago. I was watching it go. They must have got a heck of a deal from some supplier. And they were
they mostly get it from Canada. Supplier called OV.
Yes.
OVE,
Okay,
right?
I had never heard of it before. And we got all sorts of calls from people to install it for them. So we're not touching it. Don't know anything about it. And they were short. They were stalls, and they were only like 67 or 68 high for a stall.
Mhm.
So we call them
Short people.
headbangers.
I did for a friend.
Headbangers. They come with a
friend-
helmet.
Yeah. A friend bought it. I installed it for a friend.
Yeah,
So they build them to the
Like
height of the fiberglass
516.
stalls. They're not tall enough.
right. Exactly right. So people in Naples or Fort Myers who have tiled showers are buying them because it says for shower stalls, and they're low. They're really low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rarely do a tub enclosure that's that short.
Right.
Even
Exactly.
on people's tubs, they want them taller than that.
Exactly.
No, and we did a lot of inline panels with fiberglass, shower
Yes.
enclosures.
Yeah.
It always stuck up above the fiberglass.
So California, you have a lot of fiberglass units in California?
We did. I mean, back in the day,
Yeah.
before
Most of them are tiled now?
most tile, but every once in a while somebody will buy a fiberglass, stall,
Insert.
insert or fiberglass and put it in.
Rentals and
Put
stuff
the
like
door
that.
in,
Yeah.
It goes above the fiberglass. They're not tall enough.
When
Yeah.
we were up north, we had a lot of fiberglass. Lots. Lasco, Aquaglass, Kohler, Jacuzzi,
Oh yeah.
Pearl. There's probably 6 or 7 different manufacturers. I haven't seen one down here. at all.
We have a ton of them in north central West Virginia, a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, builders are just trying to go cheap and simple and easy. You're not going to get, water leaks where the base meets the wall, and it's a no-brainer for them to just throw that in there at their price points. I mean, not our customers, not our type of builder, more like the, slam it in glass shops, fill the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they usually
those Delta units and all that stuff, you gotta take the directions to them and read them at night so you know what to do the next day.
That's right. Homework.
There's so many parts and
Yeah. Well, the kind of unique thing that we have here in my area in Santa Cruz is that we have a lot of rentals. Like, so we have a lot of people, even though our customers are more affluent, they have a lot, they own rentals, or they have kind of like vacation, rentals. I'm trying to think what
Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb. So they'll have like a really nice home with really high-end stuff, and then a little addition that's, like a rental that's a little bit more swanky, so then they want to put in something cheaper in there, and also we're a university town. So there's a lot of that. So a lot of like rentals for like students. So it's really weird. I mean, you drive down the street in Santa Cruz and like one house will be like a mansion, right? And then next door it's a shack. And there are streets like that where it's like half the houses are just like, just decked out to the nines. And then the other half of the houses are just about to fall over because people, when they bought those houses, they paid, $10,000, $20,000 for them, 40 years ago. And their families lived in there ever since. They're not rich. They just live on a street with a bunch of millionaires, So it's a really interesting clientele here. It's fun.
I had a lady the other day, I went out and she had a Neil angle, which was not really a Neil angle. One side was 149, the other side was, I forget what it was. So it was 27, 24, and 13, and she wanted it frameless. And I told her, I guarantee you that water is going to be all over the floor. And so I sold her a, WBS, semi-frameless, and they were happy with it.
And even that is going to leak probably.
The WBS, they're pretty good with their Neil angles. They don't,
Yeah, they are, but still, I mean, anything that small. I mean, there's it's almost impossible.
I guarantee you it's going to be on the floor.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons like I stopped doing those too, is because I get called back for like leaking, and it's hard to like talk your way out of one of those things, like with a frameless enclosure, I'm like, it's a frameless shower door,
Oh yeah,
little water's getting it out, but when you sell them one of these stick things, it's like, it's harder to talk your way out of that. So it's going back, adding more caulking. I hate it.
Yeah, I go look at it. The lady texts me back, "Oh, thank you. I think I know you." Yeah, your brother gave me a ticket. He was a CHP officer. And her dad taught me wood shop.
There you go. Oh, you're on mute. So anyways.
I got a question.
Okay, good.
What about the now that we're on semi-frameless and frame doors, what about the Ketchum company that Tom got? Does anybody use any of his stuff, or?
I'm not sure I've heard of them.
Where are they?
So
Ketchum was a supplier that made frame doors out of real brass and plated. So when they went out of business, Tom Whitaker bought them, and he's still doing it and doing quite well at it. It's not in our market. I don't see it in our market, but it's really high-end stuff. He's doing a lot of hotel work with it. But chrome on brass, polished brass, polished brass, polished nickel, and chrome on brass.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Puts a 1/4 inch clear in it. Looks good.
Yeah. I was
They're
looking at it this
pricey.
morning.
Yeah, very pricey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him post like photos of those. They're like super, super sharp looking.
Yeah,
Oh,
No, I
yeah.
think Brandon was doing some of those framed brass units as well.
Brandon's
don't-
really good at that. He's
Yeah,
got
but
a really good system down for doing those like gridscape type things.
Yeah, but is he buying his extrusions on his own, or is he buying a kit from somebody else?
No, I mean, he's got his own thing. He's got his
He
own
does.
system for it. I'm trying to talk him into teaching it to me,
Yeah,
you know? It's not that I want to do those.
I know, Chris. It requires caulk.
Yeah, I know. That sucks.
Yeah, you would want that,
Yeah.
and a lot of other parts. too.
Talk and patience. Two things I don't have any of.
What was the name of that framed company you were just talking about? And it sounds kind of like, what is it, American shower doors or something too? That
They're
does
out of LA.
Yeah. Catch him.
Catch them.
Catch him. KETCHUM.
CHUM.
Yeah.
So is it still called Ketchum?
I don't know.
Or Tom Whitaker is Mr. Shower Door, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Connecticut.
So so is he doing it as Mr. Shower Door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his lines. Yeah. I think
Yeah, I don't know.
He kept
I don't know
the Ketchum.
anybody in the country that's doing them besides Tom that I know of.
That's what I was curious about.
There's
I
American
think
Shower Door down in LA.
Okay.
They're doing true brass replicas because
they're true
it's made to
brass.
replicate the showers from the early like 20s to the 50s
Yeah.
when the shower doors were first done with plate glass. A lot of reeded stuff was used in them. Then it's made to replicate that look.
Yeah.
I've done it, but I do it with a frameless shower, then wrap it with polished nickel channel or something like that to give the aesthetic. Just because the cost is astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
No, years ago I priced a shower door. It was brass with I forget copper finish on it.
Yeah.
I sent it to my contract and it goes, well, where are the wheels and tires at? You know, it costs as much
Exactly.
as a car. I mean,
Yeah, it's up there.
The last one I priced was a panel door panel to go in a like 30s basement remodel that was, everything was replicated to look like a 30s movie theater throughout the basement. And to wrap a heavy glass frameless, I think we were somewhere in the 3 to 4 range. The replica brass shower was somewhere between like 12 and 15,000. The same size and everything. Yeah, they wanted the look, but they didn't want the look that bad. So we just used heavy, wrapped it in polished nickel, did a fixed transom above because all the old units would have a fixed transom typically above the door. So we just replicated it with the stuff we do all the time, and it still looked really good, but it doesn't have quite the same feel that those have. But for a $10,000 difference, the feel is pretty solid still. So
That's right.
But they have the old-fashioned piano hinge down it where you're using a wall mount or a pivot for the heavy glass. So you still got the look of the original frame doors. But he's doing well with it. I give him credit for taking the chance at it.
Yeah, I mean, next time somebody says my shower door is expensive, I'm going to be like, oh no, yeah, this is not expensive.
Let me show you this guy.
yeah, price out of brass with
Yeah, guys, can I ask you guys something? Just looking for get some hardware to my inventory. How do you guys put like the first, second, and third mostly finish, the best selling finishings? You guys say like polished chrome, brushed nickel, and black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right now.
Yeah, right.
It used
So
to
I
be
can like
oil rub bronze, but now black has taken that over.
yeah.
So
And
we
what-
bought a pretty good quantity over the last 2 years. That's the first we've done it. Black
Mhm.
in our area, because oil rub bronze was huge where we're at. We have a lot of craftsman style homes. Black has completely wiped that out. We sell almost no oil rub bronze, and I cannot hold on to black hardware. So
Mhm.
And if you put them
It's
side
go-
by
it-
side, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah,
well, depending on
depends
whose
the
oil rub bronze you
supplier.
get. CR Lawrence
Yeah.
is very close, but some people their bronze is still kind of true brown, true chocolate. But I'm chrome is sitting on our shelves where we're at.
Oh, is that
And
right?
maybe a
Oh,
little
really?
different in other areas, but it's sitting here.
Well, I had a
Mhm.
shower enclosure where I had to use the PPH or the O2, the transom. And it wasn't made in matte black, and you put the oil rub bronze on there and you couldn't even tell the difference.
Mhm.
FHC's
Yeah.
hardware looks black, when they call it oil rub bronze. Yeah.
Mhm. If you
I've had
if
quite
you
a few
be
brush
put-
bronze lately.
if you be putting like a proportion for those three finishing, I would say like 33, 33, and 33% of each.
Our brushed nickel is still by far number one. So it's brushed nickel, then chrome, then black.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we go through ours, we have 3 levels. So we've got the first level, we keep a month's supply of chrome, brushed nickel, oil rub bronze, and matte black. And that month's supply will evaluate, like every 6 months, we'll say, what's a new month's supply, because then as they adjust. And then our second level is polished nickel, satin nickel, and we've just recently added brushed bronze and satin brass to that. And we only keep like 4 houses worth. And in each of those, it's Vienna hinges, 6-inch D-pull, 3 clips, 2 channel is kind of the products
More.
that we keep. And then anything else above that, so if it has to go to offset, we keep 1 offset, 1 set of offset, 1 set of Victoria for each of those. And then anything above that, we don't do as many pivots. So if you've got a pivot, you've got a 90-degree clamp, you've got whatever else, then that's all just going to be special ordered. But that's kind of how we've put together like the 3 different levels: month stock,
That's smart.
some stock, and then special order on all of it.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Now, I had a job where they wanted unlacquered brass hinges, clips, and a little knob. So they're not available. And I talked to Sierra Lawrence and said, well, they can take satin brass and make it unlacquered. And so they finally ordered it, and they said 4 to 6 weeks. I ordered it 2 weeks ago. It's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just had to order some of that myself, that unlacquered brass, and everything but the hinges were available, but I had to wait for the hinges for like weeks. Like,
Yeah, the guy told me, he says if it's available in satin brass, they could make it unlacquered.
just strip the lacquer off it or whatever.
I guess I don't know how they do it, but I just got to notice they're coming. They've been shipped.
Nice. That's good. So over here, we've got people are buying this antique brushed brass from like Kohler or something. So it's like real popular. Like everybody's getting this antique brushed brass. So and it's contractors that I work with contact me like, oh yeah, this is what the finish they want. So they've got all of their fixtures, and it's like, yeah, that we don't have anything that looks even close to that.
Yeah, they don't match.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be a good thing to put in the design guide, wouldn't it? To like, hey, consider it whether or not you're going to be able to get any shower hardware to match the rest of your fixtures when you're in the planning stages, because it sucks to have a whole bathroom full of a certain finish that Kohler makes, but you can't even get a special finish made for it.
Hey, Chris, does that antique
Yeah.
brass look something like that?
I don't know. I think it
No.
looks kind of.
Well,
What do you call that?
Antique brass.
Looks like
Like
pewter.
gunmetal?
Yes, it's a antique brass. And I'm-
Antique brass. Yeah, I just did a shower door like that.
Yeah.
Antique
I've got,
brass.
I think,
This is
4
like,
hinges, a bunch of clips, and then a couple of handles that
Yeah.
have been sitting in my shop for about 4 years.
so this, it's their, it's the bathroom fixtures finish. They call it antique brushed brass, but it doesn't look anything like antique brass.
No.
It's like not even close. And I mean, they just call it, even with brushed nickel. I mean, brushed nickel from like one manufacturer to another, even in the shower door business, can vary quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then, you start talking about like bathroom fixtures and stuff, and it could be, it's a crapshoot.
Like I tell my customers, everybody has their own version of a finish.
So we used to go to the Builders Show, and Kohler always had the biggest booth there. And it was always interesting to go because they would always feature the newest finish. Kohler was pretty much on the leading edge. If you remember when they came out with that champagne color, which is like a pinkish bronze, and that was a designer's delight, and that lasted about 6 months, but it caused all sorts of havoc, everybody trying to get their hardware in that color. So it's interesting to go to that show. You'll see what the trending fixtures are. And unfortunately, the shower door industry kind of has to follow what Kohler and Moen come up with for the plumbing. But and we run into the same problem as a company like Baldwin Hardware, the people that make the handles for the cabinets. They have to try and match that as well.
Yeah.
And then the lighting manufacturers have to try and match it. And it really causes a problem because they're making it out of real brass. And a lot of the other guys are making their stuff out of either cast or aluminum or some other finish. So the color is just not a perfect match.
No, they never match.
I've ran into a bunch of houses that I've been doing recently where nothing matches in the house. You've got chrome handles, you've got black excluder strip around the shower. They want brushed nickel hardware. You've got chrome door handles. It's just, I think they've decided just hell with it. We're just going to make everything not match, and then it looks good.
It could be because of supply chain issues. Also, they just took whatever was in stock and they'll swap it out later. I guess that's a possibility.
So Bill, you brought up IBS, and I was going to ask if anyone was going to that. It goes back and forth between Vegas and
Orlando.
Yeah, and so this year it's in Vegas at the end of January. So we were there for the glass show going, okay, we're going to be back here at the end of January. So, don't see too much. But anyone else? So it's the Combination International Builders Show, and NKBA has their kitchen and bath industry show, and they're in at the same time. And we try and go, especially when it's in the West Coast.
Those are really good shows. They're really good shows.
Yeah, it's a smart idea, like Bill was saying. I mean, to get ahead of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of the shower door manufacturing companies will go there also and try and get an idea of what trend is coming so that they can start gearing up for it.
Yeah. We see our builders and remodelers there. Our Home Builders Association always has, a big party on one of the nights. So it's really more of a networking with our builders, which is really kind of dumb that you go to Vegas to see your local builder, but whatever works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an excuse to go to Vegas, right?
I went to Vegas to see Chris.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Next.
Yep. Who's got the next question?
I don't have a question. I have something I learned for social media this week. If anybody's interested on LinkedIn, if you haven't done the latest update on LinkedIn, once you do the update and you do a post, whether you're posting a picture or you're posting a video, you have the ability before you upload that to add a hyperlink that will actually be put right on top of the video. So let's say I'm talking right now, and there's a button that I could say, hey, click here to book an appointment. And that'll drive them right to the website. And the reason why I think that's so good is Jay and I have been tracking all the leads that come to our website. We can see where they're generated from based on software that must be engaged when someone hits our website. So it'll either say it was through a search engine, a direct search, which means they just type the name into the HTTP bar or whatever the fuck you call it, or
Search bar.
search bar, or search bar, not in the search engine, like the
Right in the line, like in the
yes,
command
whatever
line.
they call that.
Yeah.
And then the other ways
browser.
are through hyperlinks. And we found all the hyperlinks that we were putting in our scripts on those videos weren't getting that much engagement, like maybe 2 or 3 hits a day. Whereas this hyperlink on the video is getting around 25 hits a day. We've only been doing this for like 3 days. And so
Wow.
it's a massive difference. And I think it's just because of accessibility. It's right there in your face. So if you don't have that, it looks like 2 chain links when you're uploading something on LinkedIn. Before you go ahead and push it through, you'll see at the bottom a couple little icons, and one of them is 2 chains kind of interconnected. If you don't have that, you just got to go through the App Store and do the update, and it'll update on there. It's actually a really good feature. Not hearing a lot about it.
Is that feature available or soon to be available on either Instagram or Facebook?
No, so that's a good question. I think that feature is available on both of those platforms, but like on Instagram, I think you got to be a blue check. Like Instagram has these levels that you reach. Like when you get 10,000 followers, you can start getting paid on Reels. If you get a blue check mark, then like another war chest of tools opens up that the, everyday blue collar user doesn't have access to. And I think that might be one of those on those other platforms. They all have their own little rules and algorithms, but LinkedIn is the first one to be able to provide that without you having to have a massive following of people, or literally any following. Actually, you can have one person and still have accessibility to that feature. But if you really watch LinkedIn, nobody's using it. Nobody. So it's kind of like brand new, if you will, on LinkedIn, where it's really been around on YouTube and Instagram for a while. So if you're using LinkedIn, I would suggest it. Yeah.
So Keith, on LinkedIn, are you a regular LinkedIn user, or did you do that creator? Are you a creator or a regular?
Well, I am. It's classified as creator, but when you say do I use it, like I'm addicted to it, actually.
The creator type. I was just reading there, like you can be a creator, set your type, and you.
She doesn't mean are you like a user? Do you use it? She means like are you like a user or like a dealer?
No, the true LinkedIn category that is called creator. Of course, I know you're a creator.
Creator. Yeah, it's creator.
Okay.
I don't know that there's any different permissions because I've had both. Now I have the business account to make sure I can see everybody that views the profile. But out of all those tools and everything, this latest one is by far the biggest bang for the buck. It's not even, and it doesn't cost anything. Brandon DeCastro put it up, and I called him and said, "How the hell did you do that?" And he goes, "Well, when did you do the last update?" And I'm thinking, I never do updates. I'm so lazy with that shit. Like if it doesn't do it automatically, I don't even do it. And so luckily he had posted one, and I'm thinking, holy shit. And so Jay and I started doing it for 2 or 3 days, and we saw the traffic immediately go up on the website. Immediately. Which was good, which was real good, because that's what, the My Architectural Glass, we have not yet spent $1 on advertising. It's all been through the social media. And so this is kind of one of those level ups where it's helping us drive opportunity to the website. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Good
Yeah, that's a
tip.
good tip, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where I would send people if I had a hyperlink.
Do you have a website?
Oh, that's a good idea. My website. Yeah.
Don't you have a website?
I do have a website. That's awesome. But then I would have to work. People come clicking on my website and ordering stuff. Put my shoes on, go outside. It's cold out there.
Is that where you keep your computer outside?
That's right. It's good. Yeah, Keith is the king of LinkedIn.
Trying.
Hardly an hour goes by he's not like posting something. Dude, you have to have some help with that.
Yeah.
I follow a couple people, and I just kind of repack. Very few of the stuff I come up with is original. I'm usually repackaging something else from a real estate industry, or there's a couple manufacturers I follow that are kind of have the same shtick or sense of humor that I do, that I bite off of. But there is obviously a massive demand for content creation. Anybody who's creating anything can garner attention right now. We had this conversation in a meeting today. My wife and I don't know how many people here watch Yellowstone. Will we watch Yellowstone? Well, when it goes to a traditional commercial on the TV, we both go to our phones. It's almost instantaneous. And we're not set, like it just boom, we both pick up our phones. Because the traditional marketing that we're watching here on television is just boring. And it's actually not coming at us at a rate of speed that like we're used to when we use our phones. We're consuming so much information so fast that there's not enough people creating it. And I love LinkedIn so much because I know less than 1% of the entire population on LinkedIn will ever post anything. And so this is just a very easy arena to stand out among all your competition. And so that's why I post so much on LinkedIn. And it's paid dividends big time. Big time.
It is a good on LinkedIn. It's a good on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Tunes.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
really
You got
love
the
your
Tune seal of approval.
Yeah. He's one of my best followers for sure. He's very engaged, and I appreciate him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Steve, still here?
What's that?
Hey, Steve. None.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw the mirrors you were doing. Did you fabricate all those?
Not the ones with the holes, just the ones I put in the frame. I do have a drill press for fabricating the mirrors, but I try not to. It takes too much time. But yeah, the couple that I did in the frames were for one of the home builders' personal house, and so I really didn't want to do them, but you kind of can't say no.
You had a big one on your truck with a bunch of holes and.
Yeah, that's going to be next week. It's got the plumbing fixtures, the sconce lights, outlet holes, and it's in between cabinets on some shitty countertops and. Did
you drill all the holes?
Yeah, that goes. I did not. No, I ordered the holes drilled.
Oh, you had them done. Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Swiss cheese.
Yep.
Yeah. My time. Yep. Swiss cheese. My time. Money that it cost me to get those fabricated like that, I'd rather just pay it and pick it up, and hopefully they did it right.
I used to do those all the time.
I zoned out a little bit. I apologize if this was already asked. It looked like you had a black trim running around the top edge of that mirror where it was curved. Is that what is that?
That is a frame he had built. So it's a giant piece of metal that I just had to match that top and then put a mirror in and glue it to that metal to the
Okay.
back plate.
So that's one piece that was fabbed. Is that steel or something?
One piece steel. It's like 1/4-inch steel. Got a back plate and then it's got the design on top. So I just needed to make the design and I put the mirror to it. But
Okay.
it's about 600 pounds, I think. So it's gonna suck putting it up.
We're wrapping mirrors with black trim all the time, but when I saw the curve, that's when I was wondering if you had something, because there's like some silicone framing that's made for mirrors now, or like rubber. It feels like rubber, but it's a soft material that you can get for them. But I haven't been able to access any of it, so we're just doing straight black trim, and flat bar stuff. But I haven't found anything else to use. But we have a lot of people asking for it to finish out the edge of mirrors. So
yeah, I do quite a bit with the L molding, the miter corners and L mold and black and chrome and brushed nickel.
Yep.
But, I haven't seen the silicone edges yet.
U-channel works too now. I had to experiment with it because they don't sell L-bar polished nickel. So a customer I really wanted polished nickel for a frame for a mirror. So I ordered me some U-channel, stuck it in there, wedged it behind it. Turned out perfect, but it was awesome. Customer was happy.
We like bumpered it behind it.
Yep. And I just glued the U-channel to the face of the mirror. It held it, and then I just shoved the cardboard behind the void in the back of it. It kept it nice and solid, and I hung it up and mastic. Boom, walked away. Looked good. Customer was happy.
Yeah, that would actually give you like room for like a French clip in the back if you wanted,
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about that too, but I just put mastic on it and look good.
That's good too.
It's good to have. It's good to have, because it gives you more options and colors. Because J-bar, you don't get a lot of options, just a few, and that's it. Or L-bar, whatever you guys call it. So, yeah, I had. Yep. So it worked perfectly. It was a little more work, but it paid off. So it was all right. Customer was happy, so it matters.
Billy, what are you securing your channel to that mirror with? Is it you just like a silicone or tape?
depends. Sometimes we're using a high bond tape. That's my preference, just because it's much cleaner. Occasionally we'll use silicone. I have an in-house fabrication guy that does all of our retail stuff. So he wraps mirrors pretty regular. We're doing brush nickel wrap mirrors, black wrap mirrors. We rip U-channel and what we call J-mold. We rip that stuff all the time. So we'll take a piece of U-channel, especially like 1/2 inch or something. You can rip it down the middle of the base and create 2 L's that you can use for wrapping mirrors, trimming mirrors. If I've got if a customer ever wants a tight mirror, I refuse. I will not do tight mirrors to the wall. We'll leave a gap, and if they want it tight, then we'll give them a frame to match the rest of the hardware in the bathroom. If they don't want metal, then we tell them to involve the contractor or carpenter with wood trim. But I won't do tight mirrors. So, but we've gotten into wrapping them quite a bit, and we make good money on them too. Because usually we're tying them in the shower, so
and it looks clean.
Yeah, it gives a nice edge to it. You don't have to deal with out of square walls and all that nonsense. I almost refuse at this point to do out of square mirrors. I honestly, I don't like mirrors. I don't enjoy doing them. I'll do them with shower doors all day long because you make good money on them if you pair them with a shower door. But doing them by themselves drives me crazy because I just see how many showers we could be doing at a time we're wasting mirrors. So, but yeah, wrapping them, we can make an extra $300, $400, $500 on a vanity mirror just by wrapping it, because it gives the look of a framed mirror that if they had to order, a 6 foot by 4 foot framed mirror, that's going to be $2,000 if they're trying to find it online, if they even can find it, which they typically can't. So it's been a nice little piece for them. We keep them on the website. We keep samples of them in the showroom so people can see what it looks like, and they like it. So you can pairing it with showers is the key though, because that's when you can make really good margins on it.
If you have a
Nice.
tight mirror, how do you guys measure? Do you just use a level, or do you do the quad method where you draw the crosshairs on the wall?
Crosshairs all the time.
Yeah.
I
Works
use a
all.
laser.
Laser.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
I used some old timer man taught me how to do that. Took me out one day, cross. I never went back to. I don't use no other method. Just a cross, boom. That's it.
Yeah.
And then I use showers online, and then I just put in showers online, and I do my auto squareness on it, and then I throw it out there, and my fab guys cut it to what I need. So works good.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, that sounds horrible, but I just don't do tight mirrors. I did them all during my younger days. It drove me nuts with holes and cutouts and out of squares and getting it right. And we'd go out and it'd be too tight and they couldn't shave it down to this problem or that problem. The margin just, especially back then, maybe now, I don't know. We were able to get a little bit better margins on things, but the margin was not there on mirrors. So I just stopped. And I've told our other salesmen that if somebody wants a tight mirror, then maybe we're not the ones to do their mirrors. So.
Yeah, and not even to mention like the hazard. I mean, the probably the most dangerous work I've ever done as a glazer is mirrors. They are gnarly, man. They break like swords falling out of the sky, man.
And quick.
I hate that. It's like, especially after you get used to working with tempered glass all the time. It's like, I really don't want to mess with the mold at all. And I'm like, and a mirror is like annealed +1 hazard, It's like with some silvering on the back of it, So yeah, I try not to do them at all if I can avoid it.
That's a great point. That's been one of the reasons we push, because my group of guys has gotten much younger and younger and younger, and that's mainly my fault because I'm trying to do that with our shower door group and teaching young guys. So they do not feel comfortable handling large plate anything because they're just not used to it. I've got a few guys that have been with us for 30 plus years. They'll pick up a whole sheet of 1/4 inch plate like it's nothing. But those young guys, they do not feel comfortable with it. So that's been a big part of why we've shifted. We're only holding 48 120s in house now, where we used to always have 72 120s, 72 130s. It was no big deal. It's just we've kind of shifted what we're trying to do in that realm. But one of my contractors asked today for a 72 144 one sheet in a house, and it's one of those that you don't want to say no to. So I'm trying. It's down the road, so we got a lot of time to engineer it. But if anybody's got any great ideas on how to move around a 72 144,
when you get one of those mirrors, they don't inspect it. You get what you get after a certain size.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mirrors are inspected up to a certain size, and after you go bigger, you get what you get, and that's it.
Yeah, I would definitely want to put like some safety backing, on something like that for sure.
Billy, be careful. Make sure it's first floor. Make sure it's first floor.
It's a single level. It's a bowling alley. They're building like an old school, like they're like, I don't know why this is the thing right now, but it's like a replica of an old, like early 1900s bowling alley, single lane. And it's up again. It's dug into the mountain up here. So it's reflecting off a view onto water. So they want to be able to just have one large wall mirror, but we'll box it, like probably build a box around it. So literally the box will go to the wall. The mirror will never be exposed until it's actually mounted to the flat surface. Probably what we'll end up with, but it's far enough down the road, and it'll be worth my while. If it wasn't worth my while, I would not put the effort in. But this is one of those contractors where if their customer wants it, they're not going to differ on it. I mentioned seaming it, and that immediately got shot down. So we'll figure something out, hopefully, or we won't. Or we won't. But we'll go from there. But
we have a gym out here in California called In Shape, and their mirrors are usually 120 by 60.
Yep.
or 120 laying down or standing up, and we do them all the time.
There you go. See? People are still doing that, so I don't have to. I love that.
Swords in the sky.
Well, hey, thanks for showing up, everybody.
Oh, it's that time.
I mean, we couldn't do this if you didn't come, so I'm glad you did.